Karishyati uttama shloka Taddaya dritayan gamam Taddaya dritayan gamam Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Karishyati uttama shloka Tadyaya tirdayan gamam Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Svechavatara uttama shloka Tadyaya tirdayan gamam Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Karishyati uttama shloka Tadyaya tirdayan gamam Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Karishyati uttama shloka Tadyaya tirdayan gamam Mataji Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Karishyati uttama shlokas Tadyaya tirdayan gamam Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Karishyati uttama shloka Tadyaya tirdayan gamam Anyone else? Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Karishyati uttama shloka Tadyaya tirdayan gamam Svechavatara charite Achintya nijamayaya Karishyati uttama shloka Tadyaya tirdayan gamam. So we'll see word to word translation. Swa Icha, by his own supreme will. Avatara, incarnation. Charite, activities. Achintya, inconceivable. Nijamayaya, by his own potency. Karishyati, performs. Uttama Shloka, the supreme personality of Godhead. That Dhyayat, one should meditate. Hridayam Gamam, very attractive. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. My dear Dhruva, besides worshipping the deity and chanting the mantra 3 times a day, you should meditate upon the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His different incarnation as exhibited by His supreme will and personal potencies. Purport. Devotional service comprises 9 prescribed practice: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving, offering everything to the deity, etc. Here Dhruva Maharaj is advised not only to meditate on the form of the Lord, but to think of his transcendental pastimes in his different incarnations. Mayavadi philosophers take the incarnation of the Lord to be in the same category as the ordinary living entity. This is a great mistake. The incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not forced to act by the material laws of nature. The word swacha is used here to indicate that he appears out of his supreme will. The conditioned soul is forced to accept a particular type of body according to his own karma given by the laws of material nature under the direction of the Supreme Lord. But when the Lord appears, he is not forced by the dictation of the material nature. He appears as he likes by his own internal potency. That is the difference. The conditioned soul accepts a particular type of body, such as the body of a hog, by his work and by the superior authority of material nature. But when Lord Krishna appears in the incarnation of a boar, he is not the same kind of hog as an ordinary animal. Krishna appears as Varaha avatar in an expansive feature which cannot be compared to an ordinary hog's. His appearance and disappearance are inconceivable to us. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said that he appears by his own eternal potency for the protection of the devotees and for the annihilation of the non-devotees. A devotee should always consider that Krishna does not appear as an ordinary human being or ordinary beast. His appearance as Varaha Murti or a horse or a tortoise is an exhibition of his internal potency. In the Brahma Samhita it is said, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prathipa Bhavitaha. One should not mistake the appearance of the Lord as a human being or a beast to be the same as the birth of an ordinary conditioned soul, who is forced to appear by the laws of nature. Whether as an animal or as a human being or as a demigod, this kind of thinking is offensive. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has condemned the Mayavadis as offensives to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because of their thinking that the Lord and the conditioned living entities are one and the same. Narada advises Dhruva to meditate on the pastimes of the Lord, which is as good as the meditation of concentrating one's mind on the form of the Lord. As meditation on any form of the Lord is valuable, so is chanting of different names of the Lord, such as Hare, Govinda, and Narayana. But in this age, we are especially advised to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as enunciated in the Shastra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavansha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Nita Sri Vishakan Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikakanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sudhe Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare blessings of all assembled Vaishnavas. I'd like to speak from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam today, my own purification. Okay. Who is speaking this verse? Narada Muni. To whom? Where is Dhruva Maharaj?
The forest.
Which forest?
Vana.
Vana? Madhuvan, yeah. You been to Madhuvan? You don't know. So, Narada Muni is instructing Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj, why he went to forest? To find Krishna. That was not his first initial. Yeah, someone. What's it? Tell me. Yeah.
Fulfills a material desire.
To
Kingdom greater than his father, grandfather, great-grandfather.
Yeah. So to fill his material desire, and he wants a kingdom bigger than his father, grandfather, and great-great-grandfather. Yeah. So here, in the purport, Prabhupada explained 3 sections, which is first he explains about the devotional service, and then he explains about the incarnation of the Lord who appears, and then he talks about meditation. So here Narada Muni is also explaining to Dhruva Maharaj that in particular this verse that you have to meditate on the pastimes of the Lord. So we'll discuss that. So in devotional service, so in the first part, there are 9 angas of devotional service. So first is hearing, then chanting, then remembering, then worshipping, then praying, then serving, then being friend, and then serving the lotus feet, and then surrendering oneself fully. So we have seen different devotees and mentioned in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam who perfected their life by just performing one anga of devotional service. For example, hearing, who perfected life by just hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord? Maharaj Parikshit in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. You can see. So he perfected his life just by hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord. And who perfected life by speaking about the glories of the Supreme Lord? Sukadeva Goswami. So and then remembering, just by remembering the Supreme Lord, one perfected his life. Who is that personality? Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj perfected his life by just remembering constantly the Supreme Lord. And who perfected his life by worshipping? Prithu Maharaj. So you'll see later in this canto that about the glories of Prithu Maharaj, who perfected his life by just worshipping the Supreme Lord. And who perfected by praying? Akrura. In 10th canto, you'll see. When he's entering Vrindavan, his prayers. And then who perfected life by serving the Supreme Lord? Amrish? Hanuman. Hanuman is a Dasya, servant. Mahabali Hanuman, yeah. So Hanuman. And then who perfected life by having a friendship? Arjuna. In Bhagavad Gita you can see Arjuna is a great devotee and a friend of Supreme Lord. And by serving the lotus feet, Lakshmi Devi, Paz Seva, by serving and massaging the lotus feet of Vishnu, she perfected life. And finally, who perfected life by surrendering fully is Bali Maharaj. You can see further in this, Bali Maharaj, 8th canto, right? So you will see that pastime. So this devotional service is very important. It's actually a benediction to perform devotional service. So this section is actually the theme that Narada Muni instructing Dhruva Maharaj. So when Dhruva Maharaj wanted to go to forest on the instruction of his mother that you have to go and see the Supreme Lord and then ask for him the benediction. So Narada Muni appears. Now here Narada Muni is a spiritual master. So as a spiritual master, he first tell Dhruva Maharaj, he tests the disciple, how qualified to initiate him, to give instruction. So first he says, so Dhruva Maharaj, you are, affected by this honor and dishonor, insult. Dhruva Maharaj is just a 5-year-old boy. For him, how he can understand insult, honor and dishonor? It's very difficult. But he can understand. So Narada Muni says, so first of all, if you can understand this, then apply in your life. So this insult, this reverses in life is not due to the strong words of Suruchi, but it's only due to your karma. This is your reaction you're getting through Suruchi. So you don't have to worry about this. This is just your karma. So first he tells that. Then second, not only that, for a devotee, any reverses happen in his life, that is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. These two things are very important. First, one understand that it is due to one's own karma, is going through this reaction and going through these adversities in life. And the second is this is because the mercy of the Supreme Lord, because He is giving us. We might have got so much, but according, because of His mercy, we are getting just a token. And then third, he says, you just a boy, it's very difficult task for you going to the forest and everything. You just go home. So here Narada Muni is giving a retirement plan to Dhruva Maharaj. Spirituality is not for small age. When you become old, you come. It's easy. This is the usual notion. We think, this spirituality means, it's like a retirement program where we can do whenever we have done everything with this material world, and then we'll take up spirituality where nothing to do. But actually, Prabhupada says that anything is valuable, anything is so important has to be given in the start of the life. So if money is important, then why do we send the children to school? We can straight away send to the work. Because money is what we got? No. Because 20 years of the life, first 20, 25 years of solid years, we given for education. Because why? That is what important, and that is what gives the character and quality, skills and knowledge and everything. So that is most important. We are talking about not material knowledge, we are talking about spiritual knowledge, which will help one to not take birth at all. So how important is it? So that's why in the scripture it says, one has to start practice spiritual life and devotional service at the right age from 5 onwards. So this is very important. So Narada Muni is saying, you just a 5-year-old boy, you go now and then come back. When you become old, then you can able to do this. So now we said so many instructions, but Dhruva Maharaj says, actually your instructions are very good. His instructions actually makes peace of mind, and it is good for everyone. But I am not in that category. I am covered by ignorance, and I am a Kshatriya dynasty, boy, and my heart is like shattered like an earthen pot. It's not cracked. If you throw an earthen pot, it shatters like that. You cannot join that. This instruction is not for me, because I am even lower. I am covered by ignorance, and my heart is pierced. For if you want to do me a favor, tell me what I should do to achieve and see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, this is the beauty of Narada Muni. See, Narada Muni, acting as a spiritual master, he doesn't chastise or he doesn't, put down Dhruva Maharaj. Rather, he sees that good quality in the disciple, and he is trying to fan that quality so that you can use that quality in the service of devotional service, in the service of Supreme Lord. So the quality which Narada Muni saw in Dhruva Maharaj is determination. This boy, 5-year-old boy, he is so determined to achieve his goal. He is such a determination. So Narada Muni took advantage of this quality, and he wants to use that quality in the service of Krishna. That way he will become purified and he will become a pure devotee. Because one has to understand, the spiritual master are the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. they have the power to give what a disciple want. Prabhupada, right? Here Narada Muni has all the power to give what Dhruva Maharaj actually want. But that is not his duty. The duty of a spiritual master is not to give what the disciple want. The actual duty of a spiritual master is to engage the disciple in the service of Krishna. That is his duty. How one can engage in the disciple in the service of Krishna, that is the duty of spiritual master. And that's what Narada Muni is doing, even though he is capable of giving what Dhruva Maharaj want. So that engaging in devotional service is very important. Because why you see in the example of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is there, Arjuna is there. Arjuna is asking. Krishna would easily give. Krishna would have easily killed everyone, and then he said, Arjuna, pack up, let's go. Job done. He didn't do that. He made Arjuna to engage in the service of him. He just didn't do the job and then he just said, take rest, I will take care of everything. No, he didn't say anything. He said, you kill Arjuna thinking of me. That is devotional service. You do what I ask you to do and you engage in my service, you will get purified and you will get victorious. And that devotional service, one may say, okay, fine. See, there is a process and there is a product, or there is a process and there is a goal. But actually, devotional service is the process and is the means and is the goal. Usually we have this, Prabhupada also emphasized in the later part of the purport, that the important is that process. He emphasizes the process is much important than the final product. Like, if you think we use devotional service for many motivation. So one way, this to do devotional service and I can reach Vaikuntha. I can go back home. But even going there, you have to perform devotional service. It's not that, going there, you are free to do whatever we want. No. So Prabhupada gives an example of a mango. Both are same. So like, there is a mango. One is unripened and another is ripened mango. Both are mango. But one is unripe at this moment. But then it will be ripened soon. So similarly, performing devotional service here is like the unripened mango. But then performing devotional service in spiritual world is like the ripened mango, because we directly associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is what important, that the process of devotional service is so powerful, and it is actually the goal. So because if you see in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita or even Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, they used to say that our mission is successful if we make one pure devotee. If we can make one pure devotee, then my mission is successful. What does that mean? That means it's not a product-oriented process. You're not into making more people. Whoever attracted, whoever is there, if they can perform devotional service nicely, that itself a great success. Because that process is what makes the person more happy and more surrendered. And that is and the good thing is that devotional service which we are eventually going to do, it's available here also. We talk about chanting, hearing, remembering, praying, worshipping. Everything is available. Everything available at this moment, and you can do it. But the only problem is we can't relish fully because of our envy and false ego. So that we need to purify by engaging our senses in the service of Krishna. So when we gradually engage in the service of Krishna, then our anarthas, our bad things in our heart, everything get purified gradually, and we can able to relish what we can experience in the spiritual world. Because that part is what the spiritual master is very keen, that to engage in the service of Supreme Lord. So in that later part, the Prabhupada quote Bhakti Siddha Maharaj, that he says, if a disciple, giving money or giving, material, that not actually makes a spiritual master happy. The spiritual master, he becomes happy when he sees that the disciple is engaging in the devotional service and following the 4 regulatory principles nicely, then he is obliged to that disciple. That is what actually makes the spiritual master happy. By that engaging in the devotional service and following the 4 regulatory principles very strictly. But not everyone is on that stage. We are not in the stage that directly we're performing selfless, loving, devotional service. So we have some selfish motive. We have some agenda. So for that, what is a solution? For that kind of thing, this pastime is given. So this pastime, helps us to understand, even one has some selfish or some material motive in performing devotional service, don't worry, eventually you will get purified. The example is Dhruva Maharaj. So that is emphasized in this section of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, because Dhruva Maharaj, he might have some material desire and he went to the forest, but because of Narada Muni engaged his quality of determination in the service of Krishna, he got purified. Eventually he got love of God. So that practical example is given in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Even though one may have full of desires, or even if don't have any desire, or even one want to get liberated, you just have to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he knows. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is explained, that I think devotional service chapter is that Madhya Lila, in that even though one may ask material desire, but Krishna is saying, I am not a fool to give. He voluntarily want to drink poison. If someone wants to drink poison voluntarily, but Krishna says, I am not a fool to give. Rather, I give my lotus feet, shelter of my lotus feet. Because Krishna is much intelligent. He knows what exactly a person wants, exactly what time. He's like the father. Even though the child wants to exploit himself and get into bad thing, but the father exactly knows. He may be speaking because he doesn't know the consequences, but I know. So I'm not ready to give. Even if he gives in such a way that you will not ask again. So the lesson is learned. So that is the role of a spiritual master engaging in the disciple. So even in the verse, Prabhupada admits that the way Dhruva Maharaj is performing is very difficult, and we cannot imitate, we cannot do it. How he performed devotional service very austerely, but we can follow the footsteps. That means we can be determined like Dhruva Maharaj whenever we face some obstacle, whenever we face some reverses in our life. That we have to do. And the beauty is the process is made easy by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though one may not have any qualities or any qualification, but Mahaprabhu is there to help us and made easy to do spirituality. Now the Prabhupada explains about the appearance of the Lord. Now the appearance, if you see, he comes, we don't choose our body, we don't choose our place of birth, we don't practically choose how we want to take birth in next life. We just forced to accept a particular body according to our karma, according to our previously what activities we have done. And then we are influenced by the modes of material nature. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna appears by his own sweet internal potency, by his will. That's what Bhagavad Gita says, Atma Maya. I appear by my own internal potency. Here, why he appears? So in that purport of Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Prabhupada explained, because that is actually a mercy. If he is not appearing, then there is all, see, after appearing itself, there are people speculating on him. Yeah? Mayavadis, impersonalists, even, after appearing and Krishna is saying, I am God, I am like this, see me, like that he is saying, even then they will, no, this is not Krishna, this is, Krishna speaking, that is Krishna within Krishna, and, like that. So confusing. Even Krishna is saying, like, I am the, so imagine if didn't Krishna appear. Then there will be more problem, because there is more speculation and more concoction that how God will be. God is saying, I am, look at me, I am like this. He is saying, no, you are different. So Krishna in that purpose writing, this is actually mercy. Krishna's appearing is actually a merciful thing, because there is no room for concocting how God is, how Krishna is. This is Atma Maya. Here, here it says, the Lord appear as a beast or a human being. So, the Varagadev, 3rd canto. So he appears, very mystical. But then, after he appears, the sages and Brahma all are there. They're quite bewildered. Who is his personality? He appeared and then, he is very gigantic, he's so big. But then his activities, he roared like a lion. Then the other lokas, other planetary system, they confirm this is Supreme Personality of Godhead by just hearing the transcendental sound. Because the activities prove he is a phenomenal person. He is not an ordinary personality. Then, the more, Krishna says that when I appear like a human-like form, fools deride me. Because that is more bewildering. Because if you see something big, something, very powerful, we may, surrender, okay, this is, out of fear. But then when a person like us, like our, same form and everything, it is more difficult to accept. Because it bewilders. Oh, he's just like me, 2 hands, 2 legs he has. But the fear factor is not there, because he's just like me. So that's why the fools get derided. He thinks, this is because they don't understand the internal potency of the Lord. When they don't understand, they just deride, this is just an ordinary person. That person are Duratamas. They just don't accept Krishna. And then there are Mahatmas who accept Krishna. So, the appearance of the Lord is just by his pure internal potency, he appears and performs the pastime. And it's not that, he's changing body like us. He appears his own self, eternal form. Even Krishna, if you see, you don't see a Krishna picture with his beard or old, white hairs or something. Even at the time of Kurukshetra, he has many grandsons and sons. His age was, say, 125. But you don't look like, he doesn't look like, like an old person. Because Krishna grows, he's just young. Then when he's become 16, he stopped growing. Always young. So then, the deity form, here the verses one after another. Here he says that you should meditate upon the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Prabhupada interestingly says, So we have the gradation that, meditating on the pastimes of the Lord. Before that, one should come to the form and then one should come to the name. So Prabhupada equate that how chanting the holy name of Krishna is as good as the meditating the pastimes of the Lord. Because this Hare Krishna mantra is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the best form of meditation. So here he compares the meditation of Lord pastime and chanting Krishna's name. But most of the time, we are indifferent to this chanting. There was one pastime that there was a disciple. He went to his guru. He gives the most valuable thing in this world. Then he says, okay, this mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, is the most valuable thing. You have this. And it'll be very, make you happy. Chant and be happy. So he says, okay, I take this one. Then he went out. Then he went out, he see a washer woman. And she's chanting Hare Krishna mantra. He was bewildered. What is this? This is a secret mantra. This mantra makes everyone happy, he said. And this washerwoman is chanting. Then he went further down. There was a rickshaw guy, was cycling. He is also chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Then he was bewildered. What is this? He also chanting. Then he went further down. There were some boys playing with stones. Then the boys also chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So he said, what is this? He felt he was cheated. Then he came to his guru. He said, you gave this mantra. He said, it's a secret mantra. It's a very good mantra. I went outside in the town. Everyone is chanting. What is this? The guru said, no. Then what he says, he gives a valuable jewel. Like a diamond kind of jewel, give this. He said, now you go, and sell this stone, try to sell this stone. This is very costly, very valuable. Go and try to sell to these people whom you see. So he first went to the washerwoman. He said, how much would you like to pay for this? He said, this is, normal, with this stone, what I'll do? Only I can beat the clothes. This stone is, I can't pay much. Maybe, I can give some few cents or anything. Give this stone. What is like compared to the other stone I have? What is a big deal? He said, no, I will not give it to you. Then he went to the rickshaw, rickshaw man. He said, this stone, how much you pay? This stone, what is this stone? This stone is, hardly I have any use. I can, scrape my left leg and remove the dead cells. Hardly I can use this, stone for any other purpose. I will not pay much, He said, no, I will not give. Then we went to these boys. He said, take this stone, pay. He said, this stone, what, I will play along with other stones. This is not much use to us. Then he came back to Guru. He said, this is the one. This is the problem. Because they don't know what is this mantra will do. It's the most confidential knowledge, an open secret. Because they don't understand. When you take, usually, chanting means, it's like, we have this lot of apps, checklist, task list apps and all is there, right? Actually, if you see, when you take our chanting beat back, that time only all the tasks will come. First only chanting time, all the tasks will come, all the tasks and everything will come. Whatever, even you forgot, 2 days back or 3 days back, and what you're going to do, what you're doing, what you're supposed to do, what you did, everything will come. You're saying, that one tick, Chanting time, because when you're trying to sit and meditate, you by yourself with your mind. Mind is the greatest friend and the greatest enemy. And trying to concentrate, this chanting, we trying to, and trying to go deep And much of anxiety, we have this anxiety, oh, how will I finish my round? Huh? Oh, Prabhu, I didn't finish my round, I didn't, finish chanting. Huh? When will I finish? I should finish my round, I'm finishing. So we have this anxiety on the quantity part of chanting. If we have a certain percentage of the anxiety on the quality part of chanting, our chanting will improve like heaps and bounds. Because we don't have this anxiety, how am I chanting? We have this anxiety of how quickly I finish my chanting, how if to finish this chanting every day, 16 rounds or whatever number of rounds we are chanting, meditating, we should finish it off and oh, I should finish, I don't have time to finish, I have to do this, I have to do that, when will I fit my rounds? We are always thinking, when will I finish? But if we can spend little time of whatever we have, that time of concentrating on the quantity, if we can spend little time on our quality, how am I hearing my chanting and how am I chanting? Because before chanting, we should have some knowledge of this. What is this? Why I am chanting this? What is supposed to make? We read all the scriptures, oh, chanting happy, this happy, what is it? Krishna, dance in our heart and so many things, chanting, But then, if we have to understand that chanting which are mentioned, all are offenseless and pure chanting. And we should aim for that, and we should able to spend quality time and develop that offenseless and proper chanting. It is difficult, even in the kirtan. Even in kirtan, if you have kirtan, nice kirtan, trying to say okay fine. If you have kirtan, most of the time we carried away by the tune and music. But then if we really see that whoever singing, are we listening that? And then whatever we singing, are we listening to that? Of course, when congregational chanting is so powerful vibration that it will carry you like a river. And it has benefit, whatever. But inattentive chanting means, that's a root cause of all offenses in chanting. And, that is what given, like, for example, if we have a person and we have a remote, everyone has a remote. For example, imagine we all have a remote. Remote means you can control, right? Huh? And if suppose if you are having a remote and you are giving the remote to someone to control, it's a big step. We won't give easily. If I'm a remote, I'm a person and I have my remote and I give my remote to someone. Okay, you control me. That's really a big thing, That's what actually Mahaprabhu did. Mahaprabhu knew exactly this chanting can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead itself. Chanting is so powerful that this chanting can able to control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Knowing that he is giving to everyone freely, that's why he is called Mahavadanyaya, this most magnanimous form. Because knowing well that giving this process, giving this chanting to everyone, I will be in their control, and knowing that and he is giving means he is so merciful that he is happy to control by everyone by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is why he is called most magnanimous, because he is so merciful and giving. Because that chanting can actually capture Krishna in the heart. There's one pastime, I'll quickly tell that and then finish it off. So that there's a Bilbo Mangal Thakur. He is a South Indian Brahmin. He was in a good family. But somehow or other, we got attracted to one of the prostitutes in the village. Her name was Chintamani. So he was very obsessed. The attraction to her slowly developed into attachment to her. It's so attached to her that his father passed away. And the father passed away and they are in a funeral. He didn't cry. He didn't think of his father. He was there in the funeral and he was thinking about the beauty of Chintamani. So he was obsessed, and then he just left that funeral and he ran to meet her in the middle of the night. So there was pouring down rain and there was a river. He has to cross the river. So he jumped into the river and trying to cross, and he couldn't able to swim. Then he caught a log and he's swimming. Then he found out that is not a log, that's a dead body which is coming in the river. Then he has to climb up. So he wants to climb up. So he's climbing, and then he got a rope and he climbed up, and the rope was a snake. And then he knocking the door of Chintamani. So Chintamani was thinking, who is this person? In the middle of the uninvited guest, in the middle of the night he's coming. She opened, and then she was like totally, taken aback. Bilva Mangal, you are here. Your father's, funeral. Then, Chintamani actually rebuked him. He said, you have this attraction to my body. This body is made out of, so many, impurities, bones, mucus, and this body is going to go anytime. You are attracted to this body. If you have the same attraction to Krishna, you would have gone, become a pure devotee. So that actually changed Bilo Mangal's heart. So Chintamani words are his Guru's words. Guru is speaking through Chintamani. Then he left. He thought, oh, such a bad. He left to Vrindavan. He wants to search Krishna. His heart changed. Then he is going to Vrindavan. There, old habits die hard. Your lust is so much. Again, Maya is there. Maya is such thing, it brings you back. That's what when you chant, you are basically clearing all your heart. Everything comes to the surface. All your bad, all your previous thought, all your samskaras, all your intention, bad qualities, everything comes up and it shows to you like a card. It will show this to you, this to you. Like, it comes in the front. So like that, when he saw a beautiful woman again in Vrindavan, his heart melted and he got attracted. He followed her, and then the lady went into the house, and there was a husband, and the lady said, this guy, this sadhu, he is following me. And the husband said, come sir, how can I help? He said, I want to be with your wife alone. He said, okay, I'll go out. Sadhu, So he said, mother, can I have your hairpin? Can I have your 2 hairpin? I said, okay, she gave. And in front of her, Bilvamangal Thakur poked that hairpin into the eyes. Made him blind. Extreme. One should not follow this example. But extreme, because that covering, that lust is like the cataract. For a cataract, you don't have to remove your eyes, you just have to remove the cataract by chanting the Maha Mantra, by engaging in devotional service. So he poked his eyes. And then the lady he said, these eyes, these, like the lust is there. If you try to feed the lust more, it's not going to satisfy. It's like adding oil into the fire. Adding oil into the fire, thinking that this liquid will subsidize the fire. It will not going to happen. It will just increase the fire. So he blinded himself, and then he is performing devotional service in the forest of Vrindavan, and his devotion, his determined devotion, is so strong that Krishna and the cowherd boys used to come and play with him. So you can, imagine that Supreme Lord is playing with him. So one time he wants to catch hold of Krishna. He wants to touch Krishna. So when he was about to catch Krishna, Krishna ran away. Then Bilvamangal Thakur says, you can escape this, but I have already caught you in my core of my heart. You cannot escape from that. This is the potency of chanting. Because you can may not touch. But by chanting, he says, you cannot escape from my heart because I've already captured you in my heart. And I'm thinking, I'm initiated, I'm a great, self-realized, but actually I'm become a maid servant by this cunning boy. So Bilvamangal Thakur is saying, I can already captured you, so I don't need of you running anywhere. This is what the chanting can makes one person, that he can able to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his determined devotional service. And that's the example of Bilvamangal Thakur. And the beauty is, even though one may have a condemning past, here you see, his heart was filled with lust. That became purified. Now his heart is filled with love for Krishna. So that's a transformation. And that is what available to everyone by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is giving to everyone, free. And you chant and be happy. Okay, I'll just stop here. A little bit over. Sorry. We check if anyone have any correction, comments or questions. Okay. Yeah.
In the yesterday's verse, Narad asked Dhruva Maharaj to make a deity out of mud and water.
Yeah.
But he did not ask him to install it or something. So is installation necessary or not necessary?
Yeah. This is a ceremony we have usually in deity installation. It said that it's actually the deity installation, even though ceremony is there, but the strong thing is the desire of the pure devotee. When the pure devotee wants the Lord, he just manifests there. So Prabhupada, he just put Rajbihari in the shed. He said, okay, you stay here, you up here. I don't know. Then in Sydney, he said, these boys, how they will take care? I'm just giving this year to them. There was one pujari, he wrote to Prabhupada. For past 6 months I am worshipping these three people. One is white color, one is yellow color, one is black color, but I don't know their name. Can you tell me their name? 6 months. There's another letter, Prabhupada, I don't know how, it's taking so long time for this arati. I've been doing for 2 hours, I'm difficult to chant. So one person, incense only half an hour, arati, half an hour, 2 hours just arati. They don't know. Because in previous verse says, according to the time, place, circumstances, one can, alter these things. Because the more important is that one become a Vaishnava. That is what Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakur says. Even a person can be a Chandela, Malecha, whatever, but if he can able to make him a Vaishnava, then these rules and things can be adjusted. So Narada Muni is the pure devotee and he is the Acharya, he is our Guru. So he is saying, you do this with his earth and the Supreme Lord comes, means it will come. That's because his words are more potent than just material things which is available here. So that's why in Prana Pradishta, whatever ceremony we give, we invite all the pure devotees of the Lord and then ask them to kindly request the Lord to appear. And that's what, when the pure devotee desires, we say, Prabhuji, please pray for me, please do this. Why? Because if the pure devotee desires or if he wants to think, then it will manifest. It's not about our, I want, because if they say, okay, I'll pray for you, means that is, definitely that will work. So that's the example of Srila Prabhupada you can see. He installed all the deities, he traveled around the world, he requested. Because wherever the Supreme Lord, the pure devotee goes, that place is a Tita and that place is the appearance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So from that point we can understand when Narada Muni is saying to Dhruva Maharaj, then the Supreme Lord appears there. So even though it may not mention the full detail of the ceremony, but I guess, that is the potency of Narada Muni, the Lord would appear. I think. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
One of the good quality of a disciple is actually submissive, but then, and also we know that the spiritual master knows best what is best for the disciple. But then from this past time, from one perspective, we see that Dhruva Maharaj actually, in the beginning, he doesn't, in a sense, listen to Narada Muni. So then, how do we understand, how do we comprehend this bit that is actually considered to be practicing devotional service at the highest level, but initially beginning with not being submissive and
That initial instruction, before this section, there's instruction which he gave, that actually Prabhupada write is the testing. One time I remember, I asked permission from, I want to visit a place and I asked permission from authority. Then he said, you cannot go. I said, everything is covered service, everything. I want to go for a while. I just want to go visit and come, 2-3 days. He said, no, you cannot go like that. Then after some days, again I asked, you can go. I was just testing you. First I said no. I will say no only. If you are determined, if you come again, then I may say yes. Every time, first time only I say yes, then you will come up with 100 things you will say. So just because you got no, you cannot be, because that's the thing, Here Narada Muni testing Dhruva Maharaj. First he said, go and come back. He said, no. And Dhruva Maharaj says clearly, I want to do this, can you help me in this? But the good thing is that that is different yuga. The spiritual master know exactly what are capable of a disciple and what instruction I can give him. He can't expect the same thing here because the instruction is given to that disciple whom the spiritual master know exactly he will follow. Like example of Srila Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj didn't give the same instruction to anyone. You are a young man, go to Western world and preach. No. But the very moment he saw Srila Prabhupada, he gave the instruction because they know they have a eternal relationship is there. That is why. So we have to qualify ourselves to receive instruction. One time I visited senior devotee. I asked, Prabhuji, instruct me. He said, you do PhD in selfless service. Okay. Then, next 6 months I didn't visit him. After 6 months, 1 year I didn't visit him. Because I knew. That itself, it takes lifetime. What else, that's finished. Everything is finished. One instruction, that's it, finished, If you do that, then we can ask more. That itself done. Deal done, you go now, do. You just go then do. Because we can't, still one has to come to that, So that's why we need to be careful asking instruction also. What if, Suchuma says, attend Mangalati, finish round before Mangalati. Like that general instruction if we give. I know one time one boy went and he said, attend every day Mangalati. He is not even seen now. Gone. So, we have to be really careful, we have how we approach the Guru and how we receive instruction. And we should make sure ourselves, okay, whatever comes, I'm going to do it. This is. So, that instruction is for testing. And now he explained detailing. Dhruva Maharaj, you have to bathe in Yamuna. You have to worship this. You have to chant 3 times this mantra. And this is the mantra. You have to worship the deity, meditate. So, these are the instructions where Dhruva Maharaj is saying, okay, I'll follow. He didn't say, what he exactly do is after certain verse, he will receive the instruction, he will circumambulate his spiritual master 3 times, beg for blessings, and then he goes to forest and then meditate there. So, it depends person to person also. Sometimes we cannot generalize everything.
Then, wouldn't him be successful just by following that orders initially itself?
Yes, possible, but then, as I said, the Narada Muni here only seeing that good quality of Dhruva Maharaj. He just, that is the Prabhupada explained. That is what we have to do. We have to fan the spark. We should not kill the spark. Whatever quality which can be used, we have to fan and make it as a blazing fire. In the conversation, Prabhupada says to devotee in that section. It's there. I read in Gurujan Prabhu's that book. So Prabhupada says, we just have to fan that spark and make into a blazing fire. That's what. If you leave that spark, it will off. So even if one may give instruction, we may not say no. Then we have to explain. Okay, I cannot do. Can you give any other? So like Dhruva Maharaj did, because after all, spiritual master is also a person. We can explain our inability to do. And then he may alter and then give some other service also. Isn't it? One may get, for example, anything we do, any service we get, is not the service we want to do. You want to do many other service, But then there is a need, then they give a service, okay, you do this. So because there is a need, then even though one may not be efficient or one may not be productive, but it does do, trying to do. And we'll see how after some time, then again, Krishna actually changes, I hope, I don't know, maybe you can ask. Okay, I'll stop here. Kantra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.